What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian with another episode here on the American Auto YouTube channel. And today we are working on this 2005 F450 dump truck, and I've got the bed raised up on it right there. And I'll tell you why. It comes in, it's skipping, it's low on power. And I thought initially EGR. Well, the receipt showed that the EGR was replaced when this engine was put in. This guy's been battling this on this truck for a long time. A lot of money in and everything. So I thought initially it was the EGR because those bolts were completely loose. It's got black soot around it. So I threw another bolt in there and tightened it down. That didn't fix the problem. Still no power, still sounds like it's skipping. And then it did something strange. It would just spin over and try and catch. And I said to myself, self, it don't seem like it's getting fuel. So, you know, I'm no diesel mechanic by any means, but I'm an honest person and I will do my very best to try and help this guy. So we're going to check to see if there's any diesel in this bowl. I don't believe it's pumping. I really don't. We're going to figure out why. It reads it's got a half tank of fuel. He says the fuel gauge is correct. So let's see here. I'll bring you guys back in just a second. All right, so I believe if I pull this guy here loose, because that's where all the main fuel lines are coming in on that back side there. And for the record, that little port right there, I already pulled it a little while ago and nothing came out, okay? So I think if I pull that cap there should be a filter under it. And under that filter should be some diesel fuel. So let's find out. God, that wasn't tight. All right, let's see. I'm not getting any overflow. Huh, nothing. Very, very, very little. Like, the bowl's dry. The only bit you see is down there in that little line. So that tells me it's not getting any diesel fuel. So let's throw this back in here. And I've got the relay box cover off. I had it running earlier and it was running real crappy, okay? And so in the process of that, I let it sit there and run for a while, just idle, because God knows you can't do nothing else with it. Anyway, so for the 10 minutes or so it was idling, that gray relay right there started getting warm. So that tells me something else. I'm gonna set that right there. That tells me something else. That tells me that if the relay's getting hot, that means it's not getting proper voltage, or not getting, it means it's working too hard. And if it'd be working too hard, it'd be working too hard because obviously the fuel pump sounds like it's not operating. I don't know if there's a fuel pump inside this tank or not. I don't have a clue. So it seems like everything I've looked up said there's one on the frame somewhere or some kind of, I don't know. But we're fixing to pull this cap off here and see what's going on. So I'm gonna go grab my tripod real quick so you guys can watch. All right, hang tight. All right, so I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not sketched out a little bit by the fact we've got a dump bed that don't have a lock on it, and now I'm standing here in between the scissor of it, so I'm not too thrilled on this. But I want to see here what's going on. Okay. Is that power or is that fuel gauge? See, I thought yesterday when I cranked this up, I thought initially it, oh, I see. There we go. I thought initially it seemed like it was sucking air. So, I don't know. That's the return, which obviously it ain't gonna have nothing. And I don't have, well, we got a crescent wrench. We'll use a crescent wrench to get that off. All right. We're gonna take this off and go get a socket that'll fit this. Yeah. Hang tight, guys. The Expedition's sitting just a couple cars over, so I just went and grabbed this little cheap beginner's tool set that I literally have in there just in the case of a major emergency and I have to have something. Okay, so we have diesel, so that's not the issue there. So, I swear, guys, I really just think it's not getting fuel. Aren't these things supposed to have a lift pump of some sort, or I don't know. So the fuel gauge is correct. So if the fuel gauge is correct, we can put that back on there, that back on there, and then move from this spot. Get the hell out of here. I do not like that. So who knows where the fuel pump is on this truck? Anybody? Somebody? Anybody? I think, honestly, the only reason this truck was able to halfway fire up was because the injectors are able to pull just a little bit of fuel by themselves, and I think that's what was going on, because the lines are not full of fuel. The filter is not full of fuel. So let me see if I can find this fuel pump on here and go from there. I'll bring you guys back in just a minute. All right, so here I am at this point, and I, being not the diesel mechanic, have figured out what the problem is. Fuel pump. Found it on the frame under the cab. It's that big thing with a filter in it. And usually, if the fuel pump's good and the filter's bad, then you'll have, you know, fuel in there. Not bone dry. Especially after trying to crank it and all that. With a half tank of fuel in there. So fuel pump's gonna be the problem. We will fix that. I'm gonna call him and see if he wants to bring me a fuel pump, or how we gonna go about that. So I'll bring you guys back when that time is here. So see you guys in a little bit. All right, we're gonna get the Super Clean on here and see what it'll do. Already got that label looking like brand new. All right, at this point, I'd say let's go find us a brush. Yeah, it's probably a little too big, but I bet it'll work. Got one right there too. But this, I like using a brass brush on metal stuff like this because it don't hurt the metal. Figure out which way I want to go here. And I mean, guys, on this, I'm not going for perfection. I'm just going for cleaner because, again, we're looking at the difference between, you know, somebody who cares about what they're doing versus the guys that he's had working on this. You know, he ain't buying a brand new part right here, but I want it to look like he is. But I mean, what do I know? I don't even know how to change a tire. I don't even know how to take lug nuts off. Some of you get that reference and some of you don't. But we're just gonna go around this and clean it up, make it look decent. That's all. And even though I done put this through the parts washer, the Super Clean is still taking stuff off of it. A lot of stuff off of it. I really need a smaller brush. A smaller brush would be so much better. You know what, I'm just gonna go get one of the smaller brushes out of the parts washer and clean it. Hang tight. Look at there. We just spray this off with some Super Clean here. So I've been seeing a little bit of stuff lately, guys, as far as what to use in your parts washer. Super Clean. No, I'm just playing. Actually, hang on. All right, so to sum this up, we're just gonna spray this off real quick. And that's gonna do it on this part. And I am at a stopping point until I get the new fuel pump in. So for whoever's listening to this, that's what the problem is. That's what needs to be fixed. About that breathing thing. Shoo. But all I'm gonna do here is just simply wipe this down now. what I was saying before I shut the camera off is I've been hearing some stuff lately about who uses what in their parts washing machine. And when I got mine, it already had the parts cleaner in it. So, which is essentially, it seems like it's pretty much the same as diesel. So, but from everything I read, it said don't mix the two. There is a little bit of difference. I don't know what that difference could be because it smells the same. It don't look the same, but it smells the same. Anyway, so mine already had parts washer stuff in it. So I just put the parts washer stuff in it. Now, if you get one and you don't have that, I highly recommend using diesel fuel because it smells better if you don't mind the smell of diesel. It might actually be a little bit cheaper. And it's always, well, I don't know in today's time, but usually it is readily available. That's my 2 cents on that. Okay? You can use diesel fuel or the parts cleaner. Either one is just as good as the other. Okay. Heck yeah. I'll give y'all a good look at this here in just a second. I want to wipe this inside out real good. Well, that'll do it until I can flush some diesel through this. But there you go, guys. Dirty to clean with super clean and parts washer, but mostly super clean. Y'all seen it was dark and black, and look at that label. Looks like brand new. So super clean for the win on that one. Missed a spot. But anyway, guys, so that's it for me for tonight. Yeah, that's it for me for tonight. So I will set this container out the door. You know what? Super clean that. Grease from a winch I'm working on. There we go. Cool deal. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for me for tonight. I'll bring y'all back when I get new filter or new pump. So see you. All right. So here we are on another day. As you can tell, it's a little bit chilly outside. I smell like pure diesel fuel. I hadn't worked on this truck at all today because 2-year-old, need I say more? Love being a parent. Love having that little girl. It really wreaks havoc on trying to work. But anyway, so Mama gets home from work and takes the baby with her to the grocery store, gives me a few minutes to run out there. Now, what I figured out yesterday, and I'm pretty sure I told y'all in the message or in the video from yesterday, which all this is just a few seconds away for you guys, is that the fuel pump is not pumping. So while I had a few minutes, I ran out there and dived off in diesel fuel and pulled the fuel pump, pulled the filter out. Yeah, I've got it in here on the table. Let me show y'all. That's what's left in the corner of this pump after I've already dumped a ton of it out. Can't really see it. It's all in the threads and everything. But now I want to go through this and figure out what's going on with it, if it is actually the pump or if it's just got a blockage in it from bad fuel or what. Also, I'm going to figure it out on my own, but what is that knob for? What does that do? Anybody tell me? I want to say it's probably like a bypass or something, but anyway, y'all tell me. But anyway, guys, so I will piddle with this, and then I'll bring you back when it's time to figure it out. All right? Let me show y'all something I just figured out by accident. Again, with the gut feeling stuff. Most of what I do is gut feeling. Something told me to get my little magnet here, because if it is the pump and the pump is eating itself up from within, this will be all metal. Well, guess what? You shouldn't be able to clean a fuel pump out like this. That's chunks there. And let me show you on here where I just wiped that off. Chunks there. Let's do this again. It shouldn't be doing that. There should not be that much metal inside that. And this is the filter that came out of it. And I don't know if you're supposed to be able to see light through it or not, but there's nothing. Can't see jack through. Well, let me see. There you go. Flashlight on the outside, blocking the world. So I'd venture a guess to say original fuel pump to the truck, original fuel filter to the truck, and burn up or stopped up fuel filter, burn up pump. That's my guess. Leave me a bleep bloop down below. Tell me what you think, but that's what I feel like it is. All right, so we got that out, got as much of the metal out of it like that as we could. Still need to clean this cap and knocked a bunch of the big stuff off in the parts washer over there, but we're fixing to super clean this thing and see how much more of this shit we can get off. Pardon language, I cut the crap out of my finger and it's burning real bad today. So we're gonna put some gloves on so there's just in case the super clean gets a little rougher on me. We don't want to do that. So, are you ready for your exam? So, I'm going to grab the super clean, get you guys angled around here, and we'll see what the super clean will do to it. All right, so we're out here for the next day. Hey. And I got the fuel pump taken out of the housing, out of this whole entire thing, which it turned out pretty nice. I mean, it's still somewhat dirty, but super clean did its job and got it good and cleaned up. So this is all good to go. All right, that's all cleaned out. Got a little more brushing around doing there, but for the most part it's cleaned out. The filter stopped the rest of that. Now, that being said, I went and pulled the wiring off my injector tester over there, more homemade stuff, and brought it over here, and I want y'all to check this out. So I've got it hooked to my jump pack, 12 volts, and peep it. Comes on, right? Now watch this. Make sure my wires are straight. Hear it change? This pump is shot. See, it's jacked. Now, one could say, well, that's because it's running dry. Well, no. That's why the truck would crank up and run a little bit and then just quit running, because when this thing gets hot, it just stops. That's what made that relay start getting hot, was because this was shorting out inside. So I tried to call O'Reilly's a minute ago to see if they had one, but of course O'Reilly's here in Elizabethton, Tennessee, they don't never answer the daggone phone. So anyway, that being said, I believe the fuel pump is going to be the answer to the problems with the truck, because if it won't hold steady pressure, nope, that's as low as I can go. If it won't hold steady pressure on a bench, and as you turn it sideways, because I mean, you got to remember this mounts under the truck like that. So as we turn that pump sideways, it starts changing tone as well, which means the bearings are what's messed up in it. All right. And as it builds pressure, it puts more pressure on the inside of the pump, which causes it to stop working. You got to have, I think what I've seen, you got to have around 55 PSI of static fuel pressure for that truck to run right. Less than that, it's going to skip and buck and not have any power and all that. So that's where we're at. So I've got to try and get a fuel pump for this, replace that, put it in there, and let's see how the truck does. But as of right now, I'm going to say that's the number one lead to all the problems. So as soon as we figure that out, guys, and I can get a fuel pump, then we'll get it in there and see what it does. Hang tight. All right, so it's been a little bit, guys, but got that back up and running. And when we left off, it was the whole fuel pump deal, how the fuel pump didn't work right. Hold it upright, it would run fine. Tilt it just a little bit and it'd start getting worse and worse and worse. So we've been through a bunch of stuff. Anyway, got a new fuel pump back. I got it put in there. And of course, again, I'm not a diesel mechanic, so I'm learning this as I go. But it's not pumping diesel. So I'm thinking, okay, this kind of system probably has to be primed backwards or something like that. So that's what I did. So I pumped out a gallon of diesel fuel out of the tank, brought it up here and poured it in. Actually, I'll just show you where I poured it in and what I did. So I overlooked this, it's raining. Anyway, so not sure if I showed this, but when you pull that cap off, hit the key, it's supposed to run diesel in here. Well, that's how I figured out the pump was bad. Put a new pump in, popped the cap, turned the key on, it wasn't pumping. It was getting a bunch of air, but it wasn't really pumping. So I went to the tank, pumped out a gallon of diesel, brought it up here, pulled the filter and everything out of it, poured it in there, filled this all the way up, put the filter back in. Well, guess what? That didn't work either, because it had air from here to the under pump. Now then, so something don't seem right. Something still ain't right. So I filled it back up all the way to the top, hit the key, it blew a bunch of air bubbles out and then sucked a bunch of diesel back in. Haha, we're getting somewhere at this point. Hit the key one more time and it filled that bowl all the way up and started overflowing. So that's what I had to do to prime it. So in your application, this is my experience on this. If you have to change your under pump, fill that bowl up, pour diesel in it. It only takes about a cup. Pour diesel in it, turn the key on, let the pump blow all the air out, and then it'll suck the diesel back in. And that's how that primed that pump. As soon as that primed, and I was able to get a good circular motion back into the bowl, added a brand new filter into it, took the old filter out, put a brand new filter into it, torqued it down to its 14 Newton meters, hit the key, and oh my God, it runs like well, that's because it is brand new. It's a Jasper engine in this truck. I just, for the life of me, cannot fathom why they didn't check the fuel pump. Now, as soon as I can get a battery charged, I will crank this truck up and we'll take it for a test drive. And I'll take you guys with me on that. But in the meantime, we just got to wait because, just like everything else, always has dead batteries. So we're charging a battery up. I've got one right here, but the poster backwards on it, and yeah, it's not safe. So once we get the batteries charged up, we'll fire this up and take it for a test drive. All right, so hang tight, and I'll see you guys in a few. All right, guys. I'm sitting in the truck. I'm already away from the house just a little bit. We're down the road. I'm still letting the temperatures get up and all that. But I'm going to spin it around and let you see. When it came to me, you could hold it to the floor and it wouldn't get over 1,000 RPM. So that to actually out here on the road. So I'll spin you guys around and let y'all see. All right, here we go. Waiting on traffic to come by. Here we are. All right, here goes nothing. Rumble strips. Build boost. Oh, it ain't gonna focus, is it? There's 22, 23 PSI boost. And I'm about half throttle. She seems to be running pretty good, guys. There's 56, 57 mile an hour in a dump truck, so I think that's pretty decent. I'd say the fuel pump was the issue on that, guys. So, all right, let me get this thing back to the house. All right, now let's see if the batteries took enough charge to crank it back up. I think we got it, guys. Everything's coming back on. It's not overheating, got good oil pressure. I think that's it. Heck yeah. Guys, I love it when a plan comes together. This is a pretty good truck. Oh, too big, in my opinion, but I don't use stuff like this. I don't need something like this. But this guy will be extremely happy. He's been, from the way I understand it, he bought this truck, the original engine blew up or something. And it's been in the shop for the last 1.5 to 2 years since. And not my shop. And he's been getting a run around from other companies. Guys, if there's one thing anybody can say about me, is I will always be honest. That takes precedence over anything. Honesty is key, okay? And when he brought this truck to me, he knew I was not a diesel mechanic. But I would do my absolute best, and I would study and work my behind off to figure out what was wrong with it. And I think we did. So, guys, that's going to do it for this one. I do have some stuff left to do on it. The Tommy gate is not working properly. You know, some stuff like that. It's got a few little electrical issues. No dash lights, no running lights, stuff like that. But I will go through and see what I can figure out on that. If it's something worth showing, I'll bring you guys back for it. But that's going to do it for this one. We got the F450 fixed. And he can put her back to work now. Guys, if you have a 6.0 Ford, I'd say every 40,000 miles, check your filters, check your water separator. It might require more than that. I don't know. Make sure your oil pressure is good. Make sure you keep the oil changes up, because these trucks are finicky. I do know that much. They are finicky. They don't like bullcrap. They don't like a speck in the system, okay? But what they do like is fresh, clean fuel, good oil, and be worked. So, that being said, guys, peace out. We're going to tag Super Clean in this one, because Super Clean's what cleaned that housing and all that. And that's going to do it. If you haven't already, go check out Pole Barn Garage. Go check out Junkyard Digs. Go check out Golden Rust or Bust. And I'm probably missing somebody else. Super Clean. Go check out Super Clean. They're on all the platforms at Super Clean Team. But yeah, go check out them guys. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm always going to bring you some kind of content. Let me know what y'all want to see next, too. So, all right. Peace out. Love you guys. Thank you.